And young Scott Reed will be out there sitting on the side of the 58 bike of Aidan Twaits. So young Scott will be there as well, and Grandad, I'm sure, and Dad will be looking down from above from that great speedway in the sky and be as proud as punch to see sons and grandsons keeping up the Reed tradition and being out here at the Oreti Park Speedway. We'll run through the competitors today. In the Brian Reed Memorial for the solos, there's Grant Dragoning, Jeremy Godfrey, John Tuffley, Daniel Shuttleworth, Jake Gillespie, Adam Shuttleworth and Andy Aldridge. A big warm welcome to all the Christchurch boys that have come and travelled today and to race here today at the Russell Cunningham Properties Oreti Park Speedway. A warm welcome to you all. In the solo supports, we've got Jimmy Hannon, Devlin Joseph, Phil Coulthard and Pat Dysart. Also in the solo supports is the 67 Paul Highstead, Zane Pay, Peter Napton and Alan Crosby, who would just about be the oldest competitor here. In the classics, there's Bradley Stockton, Glenn Soul, Joe Hughes, Les Payne, who's not quite the oldest rider but has the oldest bike, and Derek McRae. In the PBs today, Cooper Early, Sam Coulthard, Ryland Casey, Bella Early, Kayla Wells Moore and Slade Fordyce. Bartley, Caden Cracknell, Braxton Casey and Jacob Blorkamp, all in PB Division 1. In the Junior 125s, there's Hayden Brooklyn, and a big congratulations to Hayden taking out first place in the Canterbury Champs last weekend up at Moore Park. Tyler Bain Hoy, Cormac Buchanan, Lachlan McIntyre and Mason Coulthard. Also Finn Reid, as I say, his first meeting here today, and also the third generation Reid to be running here. Nick Olford, Ryan Colvin, the 55 of Dakota Kringle, who also raced at Moore Park last weekend and came away with third place in the Canterbury Champs, so well done to Dakota as well. In the Junior 200s, there's Matt Highstead, Lucas Colvin and Sam Taylor, and a big congratulations to Sam Taylor for taking out the Sports Person of the Year award for the high schools in Invercargill there last Friday, so congratulations Sam on that. In the sidecars today, Erwin Tree, Brett Pubbin, Scott Ado, Dylan Carney, Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock, Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss, Jason Riley, Chris Chatfield, Chris Early and Jason Harper, Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey, Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin, Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow, Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers, Stan Ross and Chris Leedon, and Jamie Pocklington and Shay McWilliams. So fantastic lineup of competitors, and we wish all the entrants in the Brian Reed Memorial Solos all the best of luck for today.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Nartai from Suck It Up Limited. If you're in the Canterbury area and need any hydro excavation, water blasting, vacuum loading, any septic tank cleaning or CCTV of your pipelines, please give me a call or contact us on our Facebook page.
Suck It Up Limited, 740 Marston Road, Christchurch. Call them 24 hours a day on 027 588 8809.
So first heat of the Brian Reed Memorial for the solos coming out, lining up here. The AJ Auto Electrical Limited sponsored heat. There's Grant Dragoning, as I said, on the 5 bike in gate 1. Let's hope Grant's wrist is a bit stronger than it was a fortnight ago and he can compete throughout the whole meeting. The 29i of Jeremy Godfrey, the 66i of John Tuffley and the 16i of Daniel Shuttleworth are the first ones out for heat 1 of the Brian Reed Memorial for the solos. So lining up here, Looks like John Tuffley's going to go off the back. It's John's first meeting for the season. So, tapes up and away they go. And it looks like Grant Dragoning going to be the first one down into that turn with Daniel Shuttleworth trying to go around the outside. Jeremy Godfrey's down there in second place, though. He's just got a narrow lead over Daniel Shuttleworth. And off the back was John Tuffley in fourth position. So through they come for the first time. It's Grant Dragoning heading the charge from Jeremy Godfrey and Daniel Shuttleworth. Grant got a wee bit of a lead on them now. John Tuffley's sort of trying to keep in touch with the field there in that fourth position. Out of the Thwaites contracting turn they come. There's been no change. It's Grant Dragoning as he slides down through that ILT Foundation turn. Followed by Jeremy Godfrey. He's got Daniel Shuttleworth hot on his tail. And John the Bummer Tuffley at the rear of the field there. Through turns 3 and 4 they come once again. 1 lap left to go. There's no change. The only pressure coming on is Jeremy Godfrey from Daniel Shuttleworth as they slide back through that Newfield Autos turn, and out they come from turn 2 down that back straight once again. Grant Dragoning, as I say, with a handy lead, and he's going to take the win. It looks like Jeremy Godfrey's going to click up in second place there. And in third position will be Daniel Shuttleworth. Fourth place will go to John Tuffley. So Grant Dragoning, no wrist problems there. He seems to be well and truly on fire. Later on in the rounds of heats, he will come up against Andy Aldridge, who's been going great guns up there at Moore Park. So that'll be an interesting battle when those two come together there. In the next heat of the Brian Reid Memorial for the solos, I was trying to get a time there for that race and I forgot to click it off, didn't I? Very, very silly man. Anyway, Jake Gillespie on the 11 bike, he's in gate 1. Adam Shuttleworth on the 4 bike, he's in gate 2. And the 23 of Andy Aldridge from Christchurch is in gate 3. This the Automotive and Industrial Paint Limited sponsored heat. So Jake Gillespie, Adam Shuttleworth, Andy Aldridge. Tapes going, away they go. Jake Gillespie and Andy Aldridge. It's Andy Aldridge going around the outside of Jake Gillespie as they come out of turn 2. Down that back straight they go. There's not much between them. Andy Aldridge, Jake Gillespie and Adam Shuttleworth. Round they come. Andy Aldridge, Jake Gillespie hot on his tail as they come back down through turns 1 and 2 through that ILT Foundation turn they go once again. Andy Aldridge just opens it up 5 or 6 bike lengths now on young Jake Gillespie as they go through that Permacoat roofing turn and out past the Steve Wright panel and paint corner they come. Back down through turns 1 and 2 once again. It's Andy Aldridge from Jake Gillespie and Adam Shuttleworth. This time round the white flag will come out. They've got 1 lap left to go and it's Andy Aldridge holding a comfortable lead now over Jake Gillespie and Adam Shuttleworth. Out of that South Coast Customs sidecar turn they come, down that back straight past the Extreme Kart sign they go. Down through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It's Andy Aldridge who takes the win from Jake Gillespie and Adam Shuttleworth. Well, I remember to turn the stopwatch off that time. That time was run in 1:09.92, that race, 1:09.92, so fairly quick time. Unofficial, of course. Right, in the solo supports, the Becker's Motorcycle Tours New Zealand Limited sponsored heat. Solo supports the 46 of Jimmy Hannon in gate 1, the 15 of Devlin Joseph in gate 2, the 29 of Phil Coulthard in gate 3, and the 48 of Pat Dysart in gate 5. Tapes up and away they go. Phil Coulthard and Pat Dysart from the outside. Pat Dysart gets in front of Phil Coulthard, so it's Pat Dysart that leads the way from Phil Coulthard. Then we go back to Devlin Joseph, then further back we go to Jimmy Hannon. So through they come. Pat Dysart leading the way from the 15 bike of Devlin Joseph, then Phil Coulthard. Then with Jimmy Hannon, he's pulled to the infield. So Pat Dysart, down that back straight they go. Past that Newfield Auto sign. Devlin Joseph's just started to close up a little on Pat Dysart as they come through. Phil Coulthard still there in that third position. So Pat Dysart down into turns 3 and 4 through that Permacoat roofing turn he goes. Devlin Joseph closing up just a little bit more once again as they go down through turns 1 and 2. Still Pat Dysart on that 48 bike leading the way from Devlin Joseph and Phil Coulthard. There's been no change. Pat Dysart gasses it up down that back straight and opens it up a wee bit again. So Devlin Joseph got a wee bit of work to do now to close that gap again. Here's the checkered flag. So Pat Dysart will take the win from Devlin Joseph on the 15 bike. And the 29 bike of Phil Coulthard will take that third place. That race running the time of 1 minute 25. The C. Brown Builders Limited sponsored heat for the solo supports. Heat 2, the 67 of Paul Highstead, the 9 of Zane Pay, the 38 of Peter Napton, and the 66 of Alan Crosby lining up here. Takes up and away they go. Alan Crosby from the outside, he was the first one through turns 1 and 2. Oh, he comes adrift. He gets it all together. Alan Crosby manages to hang on there. Oh, he goes up the air fence and down he comes. Poor old Alan. Anyway, Zane Pay, he's in the lead now. Oh, the red flags come out. Poor old Alan. Things just not going quite the way he planned there. Managed to get back on the horse and then lost it back down in turn 4. So, unfortunate for Alan. They'll line back up here again. Paul Highstead, Zane Pay and Peter Napton. Alan Crosby will be out. Alan taking a bit of a wild ride there, coming into the contact with the air fence coming out of turn 2. Managing to stick with the ship until he got down into turn 4 there, and then he rode back up the air fence again. So Paul Highstead, Zane Pay and Peter Napton line up here. C. Brown Builders Limited sponsored heat. Tapes going away they go. And it's Paul Highstead leading the way from Zane Pay and Peter Napton. So Zane Pay comes up round the outside, tries to get round the outside of Paul Highstead, but Paul Highstead finds another gear and gives it a bit more gas. The way he goes. Zane Pay still in touch with him though. Peter Napton rounds him out in that third spot. Through the OLT Foundation turn they go once again. It's still Paul Highstead from Zane Pay and Peter Napton. No change as they go down through that Permacoat roofing turn, through that Thwaites Contracting, past that Thwaites Contracting sign had come out of turns 3 and 4, back down through turns 1 and 2 with Zane Pay not losing touch with Paul Highstead as they head down that back straight once again. Still Paul Highstead and Zane Pay, 1 and 2, not much between them. The white flag will come out this time round. Zane Pay just gets his nose in front of Paul Highstead. Paul Highstead gets a little unsettled there coming out of turn 2 and goes back about 8 or 10 bike lengths from Zane Pay. So through they come. And Zane Pay will take the win from Paul Highstead and Peter Napton in that third position. Time of 1:20.44 there. In the Solo Classics, the Chopper Tyres sponsored heat for the Solo Classics. Heat 1 for these guys. We'll see the 12 of Bradley Stockton in gate 1. The 13 of Glenn Soul in gate 2. The 69 of Joe Hughes in gate 3. The 91 of Les Payne in gate 4. And the 71 of Derek McRae in gate 5. This, as I say, the Chopper Tyres sponsored heat. Tapes up and away they go. Looks like Bradley Stockton had trouble getting away from the line. Les Payne sitting there in second place. It looks like Glenn Soul out there in front. Joe Hughes sitting there in third. And in that fourth place is Derek McRae. Derek McRae just gets past Joe Hughes now. Through they come for the first time. It's Glenn Soul leading the way from the 91 of Les Payne. Then we go back to the 71 of Derek McRae, and further back we go to Joe Hughes. So Glenn Soul, who rode for the Southland Outlaws, comes through. 1 lap left to go. Les Payne still in that second place. Derek McRae still there in third. Joe Hughes still there in that fourth position. And Bradley Stockton finally underway in that fifth place. So checkered flag for Glenn Soul. He'll take the win from the 91 of Les Payne, then the 71 of Derek McRae, then the 12 bike of Bradley Stockton, and the 69 of Joe Hughes will round them out. PB's coming out here now. PB Division 2. Cooper Early on the 6 bike. Whoops. And the 44 of Sam Coulthard and the 41 of Rylan Casey. This heat sponsored by City Chiropractic. Sam Coulthard down on the inside. Away they go. From the outside, it was Cooper Early that got away, though. Using the smoke screen to keep the other ones out. Round through they come, but that was Ryland. Oh, Ryland goes down once again. Flattens himself. Take 2 of the City Chiropractic sponsored heat. The tapes go up and away they go. Once again, from the middle, it was Cooper Early that got away. Ryland Casey right there once again, along with Sam Coulthard on that 44 bike. Once again, Ryland slips through the inside of Cooper Early as they head back down into turns 1 and 2 once again. So this time Ryland having a better round. He's successfully completed a lap and a half. Through turns 3 and 4 he goes once again with Cooper Early there in that second place, and Ryland Casey rounding them out in that third spot. There's no change as they head through once again. Ryland Casey leading the way. 1 lap left to go now from Cooper Early and Sam Coulthard. So checkered flag here for Ryland. He'll take the win. A good win to Ryland Casey. Second place going to Cooper Early, and third place going to Sam Coulthard. Heat 2 of the Pee Wee Division 2. You see the 72 bike of Bella Early, the 88 bike of Taylor Wells Moore, and the 9 bike of Slade Fordyce. This heat sponsored by Creation Signs. Down on the inside is Bella Early. In the middle there, gate 2, the 88 of Taylor Wells Moore. And out in gate 3, Slade Fordyce on the 9 bike. So tapes up and away they go. Bella Early, she flies away from the tape. Taylor Wells Moore in that second spot, and Slade Fordyce in that third place. So through they come, and it's Bella Early who leads them round from the 88 of Taylor Wells Moore and the 9 of Slade Fordyce. This the Creation Sign sponsored heat. Still Bella Early leading the way from Taylor Wells Moore on the 88 and the 9 of Slade Fordyce in that third spot. The white flag will come up for Bella. So Bella Early still leads the way from Taylor Wells Moore in that second spot, and third place is Slade Fordyce. So a good win there to Bella on that 72 bike. She'll take the win from Taylor Wells Moore, and Slade Fordyce will fill that third position. Right, the Pee Wee Division 1. Dig It Earth Moving sponsored heat. For these fellas, we should see Eli Bartley on the 5 bike, Caden Cracknell on the 66 bike, Braxton Casey on the 29 bike, and the 53 bike of Jacob Vorkamp. So out they come. Eli Bartley on the 5, the 66 of Caden Cracknell, the 29 of Braxton Casey, and the 53 of Jacob Vorkamp. This is the Dig It Earth Moving sponsored heat for the Pee Wee Division 1s. Tapes up and away they go. So it looks like it was Corbett Buchanan on that new bike. Gets out in front on that 29 bike. It's Braxton Casey. Jacob Vorkamp on that 53 bike. He goes up into second place. Braxton Casey there. Caden Cracknell there, in third place. And Jacob, God, Eli Bartley rounds them out. I'll get them all in order yet. So it's still Braxton Casey leading the way from Jacob Vorkamp and Caden Cracknell. Eli Bartley rounding them out in that 4th spot. But it's Braxton Casey who'll get the white flag this time round. Jacob Vorkamp gets a wee bit out of shape and down he goes. So that puts Caden Cracknell up into that 2nd spot. The 5 of Eli Bartley will go up into 3rd place. So there's a good win to Braxton on that 29 bike. Braxton Casey taking the win from the 66 of Caden Cracknell. And the 5 of Eli Bartley, who will take out 3rd place. And unfortunate for Jacob on that 53 bike, Jacob Vorkamp coming down there in that turn 4. Right, the Junior 125s, the Dunright Decorating sponsored heat. We'll see the 28 of Hayden Brookland, the current Canterbury champ, taking that title last weekend up there at Moore Park, along with the 11 of Tyler Bain Hoy, the 14 of Cormac Buchanan, the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre, and the 44 of Mason Coulthard. So, 14. Cormac gets underway, they're lining up there. This the Dunright Decorating sponsored heat for the 125s, the Junior 125s, heat 1. Tape, oh, bit of a problem with the tape there, I'm not too sure. They're going to put the red flag out, there'll be a restart here. Looks like Cormac Buchanan stalled it a bit too. There was a bit of hesitation on those tapes as they went up. Hayden Brookland still sitting down there on the start-finish line. So this time, tapes go and away they go. Oh, Hayden Brookland stalled it on the line. He didn't get away, and neither did Mason Coulthard, I think it was. But so through they come. The 14 of Cormac Buchanan. He leads the way. From Lachlan McIntyre and Tyler Bain Hoy. Tyler Bain Hoy looks to go round the... Sorry, it's Lachlan McIntyre around the outside of Tyler Bain Hoy. A bit of, oh, these young juniors getting all twisted up. So there'll be a restart here once again. Between the 14 and the 77. So heat 2 for the Junior 125s. We'll see the 86 of Finn Reid, the 4 of Nick Alford, the 25 of Ryan Colvin, and the 55 of Dakota Kringle. And congratulations to Dakota as well. He took out 3rd place in that Canterbury Champs last weekend up there at Moore Park. And this heat sponsored by Dynotech. So Finn Reid, first time out on the track. Tapes up and away they go. It's the 25 of Ryan Colvin going round the outside of Nick Alford. Through they go, oh, one goes down, they all go down. The only one left in it is Dakota Kringle. So it looks like they're going to call that race as well, are they? Right, let's see if we have some better luck with our 200s this trip round. The 17 of Matt Highstead, the 21 of Lucas Colvert, and the 7 of Sam Taylor, who got voted Sports Person of the Year in the secondary schools competition there last week. Congrats to Sam. Tapes go. The tapes didn't quite do what they were meant to do. The 17 of Matt Highstead sits down. This time the capes go and away they go from the outside. Oh, 2 of them go down. These boys are having fun on this track today, aren't they? So that was Lucas Colvert and Matt Highstead once again. Sam Taylor, the only one getting away cleanly. That track pretty slick there by the look of things. So it looks like that event's going to be rerun at a later date as well. So we'll go back to the Junior 125s. Ryan Colvin, Dakota Kringle on the 55, Ryan Colvin on the 25, and I think, is that Finn Reid on the 86? Oh, the tape didn't go up properly then either. The red flag will come out. No, it's the 4 of Nick Olford, so Finn Reid is out of that one. So they'll get a restart here once again. Those tapes just not quite playing the game. So Nick Olford, Ryan, once again, those tapes don't play the game. It looks like we'll be under a flag start here for these fellas. So once again, they'll line up. Ryan Colvin on the 25 bike, Dakota Kringle on the 55, and Nick Olford on the 4 bike. This the Dynotech Limited sponsored heat. So this time and away they go. It's the 25 of Ryan Colvin that gets the drop on the Dakota Kringle sitting there in that second spot. Third place is Nick Olford. So through they come. Ryan Colvin leading the way. Dakota Kringle looks to try and get round the outside of him. There's a battle on here for 1 and 2 as they go down into turns 3 and 4. It's still Ryan Colvin leading the way from Dakota Kringle and the 4 of Nick Olford. Oh, Dakota Kringle throws it away down there in turn 2. Gets over the back wheel of Ryan Colvin. Might have to get a wee bit of moisture in this track to see if we can take the slickness out of it. It seems to be quite So here we go, folks. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, first one's out the gate. Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin, Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock, and Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. The Engineering Sheet Metal and Marine Limited sponsored heat for the sidecars, Heat 1. Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin, down in gate 1. Scott Ado, Dylan Carney in gate 2. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, gate 3. And Daniel Harper, Brad Waddick, gate 4. Tapes up and away they go. Who gets the best of it? They're all pretty even off the line, but it's Scott Ado, Dylan Carney coming under a bit of pressure now from Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin as they go through turns 1 and 2. Scott Ado, Dylan Carney gets spat out the back. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookow, first one's down into turns 3 and 4, along with Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat there in second place with the 22 bike of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddick right on their hammer there. They try and slip through the inside of them as they come out of that permacoat roofing turn and get up into that second spot. It's Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin leading the way from the 24 of Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat, who now fought back into second. Daniel Harper, Brad Waddick back there in that third place. Scott Ado, Dylan Carney back there in that fourth place after that brilliant start. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookow really got a bit of a march on the field now as they come through that ILT Foundation turn ahead of the 24 bike of Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, 22 bike of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddick sitting right there in that third spot, and Scott Ado, Dylan Carney on the 19 back bike still there in fourth place. There's been no change. Through they come once again. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookow will take the win from the 24 of Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat, the 22 of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddick in that third place, and the 19 of Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. I know. Old habits die hard. Brett Pubbin on that bike with Irwin Tree. I got it right half the time, J.A. As I say, old habits die hard. I've got to reprogram my brain. Right, heat 2 for the sidecars. Race 12, the 58, Aidan Twaits, Shane Twiss. The 92 of Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. The 72 of Chris Early and Jason Harper. The 34 of Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. And the 54 from Christchurch, Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. This is the Executive Car Service sponsored heat. Good lineup of bikes here, 5 of them in this heat. Aidan Twaits, Shane Twiss down there in gate 1 on Nippy Ching's bike. That is for sale after the Burt Munro meeting. The 92 of Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. The 72 of Chris Early and Jason Harper. The 34 of Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. And Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin right here on the outside. Tapes going, away they go. So it looks like Aidan Twaits, Shane Twiss, the first one's down into that turn. Through they come. Out in front, Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin sitting there in that second spot. Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield there in third. Oh, somebody's lost a passenger. Looks like the 72 of Chris Early, Jason Harper taking a tumble there. So Aidan Twaits, Shane Twiss as we go back to the head of the field. Still in that first place. Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin sitting there in second. Jason Kennedy, Chris Chatfield there in that third spot. And fourth place is Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. So through they come once again, still Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss leading the way from Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Third place is the 34 of Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. And fourth place is Jason Riley with Chris Chatfield on the side. Through that permacoat roofing turn they go for the final time. It's still Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss as they herd down into turns 3 and 4 once again. Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin still there in that second spot. Third place will go to Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. And fourth place going to Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. So a good win there to Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss. Second place to Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Third place going to Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. And fourth place going to Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. Right, heat 3 for the sidecars. Fraser Gillespie, Nigel Cookow should be in gate 1 on the 11 bike. The 29 of Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers should be in gate 2. The 84 of Stan Ross and Chris Leedon in gate 3. And out here in gate 4, Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam. Tracy Gillespie, Nigel Cookow on that 11 bike down in gate 1. And beside them, the 29 of Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers. The 84 of Stan Ross and Chris Leedon in gate 3. And Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam out here on the 32 bike in gate 4. Tapes going away they go. So 29, Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers, they get away to a flyer. Fraser and Johnny Gillespie get it all... Fraser and Nigel Cookow get it all wrong. They went to the infield, but meanwhile out in front, it's the 29 of Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers. Then we've got the 32 bike of Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam. Then the 84 bike of Stan Ross and Chris Leedon in that third position. And after a bit of a bum start, Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow are back there in that fourth place. Stan Ross and Chris Leedon give... Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam a wee bit of a touch-up as they come through turns 3 and 4 and manage to squeeze through into that second spot. But it's still Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers out at the head of the field. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon in that second position. Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam back there in that third place. And then Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow in that fourth spot. 1 lap left to run. Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers still there in that first place. Jamie Pockington looking to regain that second place from Stan Ross. He gets right up the inside of him as they head down into those turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It's Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers that are going to take the win though. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon will take that second spot. Third place will go to Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam. And fourth place going to Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow. That was the Executive Car Service sponsored heat for the Sidecars Heat 3.
After the devastating Christchurch earthquakes, there has always been one name you can rely on when it comes to scaffolding in Canterbury. Elliott Scaffolding have a purpose-built fleet of vehicles and a fully trained crew that can get the job done. From that small project to the bigger ones and some of the unique ones. Phone now and speak to Trevor and the team at Elliott Scaffolding Christchurch.
With race 14 in the program, the Brian Reid Memorial for the Solos. Heat 3. The 16 of Daniel Shuttleworth down in gate 1, and beside him the 11 of Jake Gillespie. Then beside him on the gate 3, the 29 of Jeremy Godfrey, and then the 23 of Andy Aldridge. Tapes up and underway, the Flying Spider controlled sponsored heat. Andy Aldridge from the outside gets a flyer. Daniel Shuttleworth there in that second place. Jake Gillespie in third. Jeremy Godfrey goes down. Jake Gillespie gets in front of Daniel Shuttleworth, moves up into that second place. But Andy Aldridge at the moment is the man that leads the field. From Jake Gillespie and Daniel Shuttleworth, and Jeremy Godfrey rounds them out. Through they go, turns 1 and 2 once again. Andy Aldridge down that back straight he goes, flying down into that Permacoat roofing turn in that first position. Second place is Jake Gillespie. Third place is Daniel Shuttleworth. So Jake Gillespie on the 11 bike still holding second from Daniel Shuttleworth on that 16 bike. But it's the 23 from Christchurch, Andy Aldridge leading the way. The white flag will come out this time. It's Andy Aldridge. Down through that executive car's turn he goes. Round out of the Seaverite blasting and panel and paint. He comes down the back straight for the final time. Through the McLeod diesel turn he goes. It's Andy Aldridge who will take the win in Heat 3 of the Brian Reid Memorial for the Solos. Second place will go to Jake Gillespie. Third place will go to Daniel Shuttleworth. And fourth place will go to Jeremy Godfrey. So good win to Andy Aldridge there. getting a bit of practice here at the Russell Cunningham Properties Oreti Park Speedway before the Total Conveyors New Zealand Solo Champs on the 17th of December. Heat 4 of the Brian Reid Solos. Memorial for the Solos. John Tuffley on the 66 bike in Gate 1. Adam Shuttleworth on the 4 bike Gate 2. Grant Dragoning on the 5 bike Gate 4. This heat sponsored by Food at Clifton. Tapes up and away they go from the outside once again. Grant Dragoning gets across the front of the field. It's John Tuffley sitting in that second spot. Adam Shuttleworth back there in that third place. Down past that Total Conveyors sign they go as they head through turns 3 and 4. Grant Dragoning leads the way from John Tuffley and Adam Shuttleworth. There's no change as they go through turns 1 and 2 once again. Down that back straight, the extreme carts back straight they go. It's still Grant Dragoning leading the way from John Tuffley and Adam Shuttleworth. So Grant Dragoning recovering from that broken wrist and keeping it all together here as he comes through for the white flag. Still in that first place. John Tuffley still in second and Adam Shuttleworth still in that third position. So Grant Dragoning, win number 2 from John Tuffley in second and Adam Shuttleworth in that third position. Right, that was the Food at Clifton sponsored heat for the Brian Reid Memorial for the Solos. Race 13 in the program. Solo supports heat 3 for these guys. We should see the 9 of Zane Pay in Gate 1, the 66 of Alan Crosby in Gate 2, the 29 of Phil Coulthard in Gate 4, and the 46 of Jimmy Hannon in Gate 5. This heat sponsored by GoPro Invercargill. Tapes up and away they go. Who gets the best of it? Looks like Zane Pay from the inside didn't get away too badly. Alan Crosby there in that second spot. Third place is Phil Coulthard and fourth place is Jimmy Hannon. So down that back straight they go. Alan Crosby has a look around the outside of Zane Pay. Somebody's lost a bit off their bike as they went through turns 3 and 4. Still Zane Pay from Alan Crosby. Zane Pay, Alan Crosby 1 and 2. Third place still Phil Coulthard. Fourth place still Jimmy Hannon. Down that back straight they go once again. Still Alan Crosby looks to just slide in front of Zane Pay as they come through turns 3 and 4, and he does it the old timer. The 66 bike of Alan Crosby now leads the way from Zane Pay. Then Phil Coulthard. Oh, Alan Crosby gets a wee bit out of shape, so Zane Pay shoots back down the inside of him once again. Alan Crosby fights back. Down the inside he comes through turns 3 and 4. As the white flag will come out at Zane Pay. Leads away once again from Alan Crosby. Alan Crosby looks to get back down underneath him as they go through turns 1 and 2. But Zane Pay holds them out as they head down that back straight for the final time. Through that Permacoat roofing turn they go. It's Zane Pay leading the way on that 9 bike from the 66 of Alan Crosby. Then we go back to the 29 of Phil Coulthard. And further back we go to the 46 of Jimmy Hannon. So a good win there to Zane Pay after a bit of a battle with Alan Crosby, who took out that second spot. Phil Coulthard took out the third place. And the 46 of Jimmy Hannon comes in there in that fourth position. The Solo supports Heat 4. We should see the 48 of Pat Dysart the 67 of Paul Highstead, the 15 of Devlin Joseph, and the 38 of Peter Napton. This heat sponsored by McLeod Diesel Limited. So Pat Dysart on the 48 bike, and beside him the 67 of Paul Highstead. Devlin Joseph there on that 15 bike, and the 38 of Peter Napton. Tapes up and away they go. So Paul Highstead and Pat Dysart fighting it out for 1 and 2. Paul Highstead goes round the outside of Pat Dysart, who's in second place. Third place is Devlin Joseph, and then we go back to Peter Napton. Through they come. It looks like Devlin Joseph leading the way from Pat Dysart. Then Devlin Joseph in that third place. Fourth place is Peter Napton. So Paul Highstead getting a good run here as he comes out of that South Coast Customs sidecars turn. Down the extreme carts back straight. Looks like Devlin Joseph's going to try and slip through the inside of Pat Dysart as they come through turns 3 and 4, which he successfully does and moves up into that second place. Pat Dysart back to third place now. But it's still Paul Highstead out in front, leading the way from Devlin Joseph, Pat Dysart and Peter Napton. So Paul Highstead will get the white flag this time round on that 67 bike. Devlin Joseph still there in second place on that 15 bike. Pat Dysart on the 48 bike in that third position. And Peter Napton's come away somewhere. I'm not sure where he's gone to. Oh, he's still at the tail of the field. Right. So a good win there to Paul Highstead. Second place Devlin Joseph. Third place Pat Dysart. And fourth place is Peter Napton. Right, we move up now into the Solo Classics, Heat 2, Race 17. This heat sponsored by Murray Arbuckle Decorating. Should see the 71 of Derek McRae down in Gate 1. In beside him on the 12 bike is Bradley Stockton. 91 Les Payne in Gate 3. The 13 of Glenn Soul in Gate 4, and the 69 of Joe Hughes in Gate 5. So tapes up and away they go. So Glenn Soul on that 12 bike and the 13 bike of Glenn Soul and Bradley Stockton fighting out that 1 and 2. Les Payne there in that third place. Derek McRae in fourth. Joe Hughes in that fifth spot. So as they come round through for the first time, it's Glenn Soul leading the way from Bradley Stockton. So Glenn Soul, Bradley Stockton 1 and 2. Les Payne in that third place. Derek McRae in third. Joe Hughes in that fifth position. The white flag comes out. It's still Glenn Soul leading the way from Bradley Stockton. Then Les Payne, Derek McRae and Joe Hughes. Through that McLeod Diesel turn they come. Glenn Soul will take the win from Bradley Stockton. Les Payne will take that third place. Fourth place goes to Derek McRae and fifth place going to Joe Hughes. Right, let's hope we have a better run with these Pee-wees this time round. The Newfield Auto sponsored heat for the Pee-wees Division 2. Heat 3 for these guys. We should see a Slade Fordyce on the 9 bike, Ryland Casey on the 41 bike, and Bella Early on the 72 bike. Well, they mixed that up a little bit, didn't they? They brought out the Junior 125s, which is race 21 in the program. Or is this a rerun of an earlier race? Nobody's told me nothing, so how the hell would I know? I see Dakota Kringle there. On the outside, the 14 of Cormac Buchanan, is it? No, it's not. It's the rerun, yeah. So Dakota Kringle's leading the way. From Nick Alford. I'm totally confused here. I can't find the blingin'. So Dakota Kringle takes the win. The 86. And Nick Alford in that third place. I think that was Ryan Colvin on that 25 bike. I'm not 100% sure. Totally confused with 86 on the bike. There's not an 86 in the program, but nevertheless. So, Matt Highstead, Lucas Colvin and Sam Taylor. Or it just looks like Lucas Colvin and Sam Taylor out here. Tapes going away they go. Sam Taylor from the outside. Lucas Colvin, well, he goes right round and down he goes. So just Sam Taylor left in this now. Lucas Colvin up and away again. But it's Sam Taylor getting into his work as he comes back through turns 1 and 2 once again. Slides through turns 3 and 4. Sam Taylor, Junior Sports Person of the Year. Comes through, white flag will come, 1 lap left to go for Sam. Looking good in the dusty conditions here. Lucas Colvin still there in that second spot of course, but take nothing away from Sam Taylor, he's taken the win from Lucas Colvin. So once again, I'll tell you the winning number for that 50-50 raffle, 2374. And the prize sitting here waiting for you is $600. Right, Bella Early, Ryland Casey and Slade Fordyce come out here in the Pee-wee Division 2 Heat 3. This is the NV Beauty sponsored heat. Slade Fordyce on the 9 bike, Ryland Casey on the 41 bike, and Bella Early on the 72 bike. The tape goes and away they go. From the outside, Bella Early gets into the lead from Ryland Casey and Slade Fordyce. Ryland Casey takes a tumble. Knocks the wind out of his sails. Red flag comes out. Bella Early pulls up, and Slade Fordyce circulates slowly there. Braxton Casey, good to see him up on his feet. All okay. This the NV Beauty sponsored heat. It looks like Slade Fordyce and Bella Early line up for the restart. Tape goes and away they go. Once again, Bella Early makes the most of the start. The way she goes, Slade Fordyce sitting there in that second spot. So Bella Early got a good lead here now. You got a winning ticket. So there we have it. Bella Early still leading the way from Slade Fordyce. And she takes the win. And Slade Fordyce there in that second spot. Well, the 50-50 raffle has been claimed. Congratulations to Jeanette, who goes home with $600 in her pocket. Best $2 she ever spent here at the Russell Cunningham Properties Oreti Park Speedway. So congratulations, Jeanette. Heading home with that 50-50 raffle prize. Right. Sam Coulthard, Jay Cooper Early and Taylor Wells Moore line up here in the Pee Wee Division 2 Heat 4. This heat sponsored by Permacoat Roofing Southland Limited. The 44 of Sam Coulthard, the 6 of Cooper Early, and the 88 of Taylor Wells Moore. The tape goes and away they go. From the middle, the Cooper Early on that 6 bike gets away fairly smartly. Sam Coulthard there in second, and Taylor Wells Moore in that third place. He looks to go around the outside of Sam Coulthard. Doesn't quite do it, he goes wide. So Taylor Wells Moore and Sam Coulthard fighting out 1 and 2 from Cooper Early, who's out in front now. Taylor Wells Moore gets into that second spot, and third place is Sam Coulthard. So Cooper Early still leading the way in the Permacoat Roofing Southland Limited sponsored heat for the Pee-wees here, Division 2. The white flag comes out, still Cooper Early on that 6 bike. Taylor Wells Moore on that 88 bike, still in that second spot. And third place is the 44 of Sam Coulthard. So a good win here to Cooper Early. He'll take the win from Taylor Wells Moore. And third place going to Sam Coulthard on that 44 bike. Right, Pee Wee Division 1, Heat 2 for these boys and girls. Or all girls, boys. 66, Caden Cracknell. 53, Jacob Vorkamp. 29, Braxton Casey. And the 5 of Eli Bartley. This heat sponsored by Alford Contracting. Caden Cracknell down there in gate 1 on the 66, and beside him was Jacob Voorkamp. But getting away smartly was the 29 of Braxton Casey. Bit of a fight going on here between Jacob Voorkamp for second place, along with Caden Cracknell on that 66 bike, and then the 5 bike of Eli Bartley. But it's Braxton Casey leading the way from Jacob Voorkamp on that 53 bike, then Caden Cracknell on that 66 bike, and then further back to the 5 bike of Eli Bartley. So Braxton Casey gets the white flag from Jacob Voorkamp on that 53, then the 66 of Caden Cracknell, and the 5 of Eli Bartley. But here's Braxton Casey coming in for the win. Second place goes to Jacob Voorkamp, third place goes to Caden Cracknell, and fourth place goes to Eli Bartley. Right, that heat, as I said, sponsored by Alford Contracting. This next heat of the Junior 125s, race 21, heat 3 for these guys. We should see the 4 of Nick Alford, the 55 of Dakota Kringle, the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre, the 44 of Mason Coulthard, and the 28 of Hayden Brookland. This heat sponsored by Ophi's Custom Engineering. But a helmet adjusting there for Hayden Brookland, I think, by the looks of things. Right, tape goes and away they go. Dakota Kringle looked like he got away to a pretty good start. And beside him there was Lachlan McIntyre, I think it was. Then Hayden Brookland fighting away there. Oh, there's one goes down. The 70. Hayden Brookland goes to the wild side. The red flags will come out here. Hayden Brookland. Oh no, it was the 4 of Nick Alford took to the scrub to avoid Hayden Brookland, who went down there on that 28 bike. Lachlan McIntyre on that 77 lines back up again, along with Mason Coulthard and Dakota Kringle. And Nick Alford joins back in again. Hayden Brookland sits us out now. So just the 4 of them back in it again. Hayden trying pretty hard, the current Canterbury champ, having to sit this one out. The Ophi's Custom Engineering sponsored heat for the juniors. Tapes go and away they go. This time, once again, Dakota Kringle gets out in front of the 44 of Mason Coulthard and the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre. He had a bit of a bum start. It's and the 4 of Nick Alford sitting there in that third place. So Dakota Kringle leading the way from Mason Coulthard, and then Nick Alford and the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre. So round they go. Dakota Kringle just got to keep it all together here. 1 lap left to go. Got a handy lead over Mason Coulthard. And the 4 bike of Nick Alford, the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre. Dakota Kringle just about gets all out of shape, but he still takes the win. So a good win there to Dakota Kringle. The 44 of Mason Coulthard comes in second place. The 4 of Nick Alford takes out third. And the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre takes out that 4th place. Right, the Osborne Engineering sponsored heat. of the Junior 125s. We should see the 14 of Cormac Buchanan, the 86 of Finn Reid, the 11 of Tyler Bain Hoy, and the 25 of Ryan Colvin. Looks like the 86 of Finn Reid is out. So it's the 14 of Cormac Buchanan, the 11 of Tyler Bain Hoy, and the 25 of Ryan Colvin. Tapes go and away they go. Oh, young Cormac got away to a bit of a slow start, unusual for him. So it looks like it's Ryan Colvin, is it, that's leading the way on that 25 bike from the 14 of Cormac Buchanan. And then we go back to Ryan Colvin on that 25 bike. So Cormac Buchanan trying to fight his way through into that first place from Ryan Colvin, who's still leading the way. They're pretty close as they come through turns 1 and 2. Cormac Buchanan looks to get round the outside, but Ryan Colvin still holding him out with 1 lap left to go. Finn Reid on that 86 bike in that 3rd place. So through they come, and it's the 25 of Ryan Colvin that takes it out from the 14 of Cormac Buchanan and the 86 of Finn Reid. It was Tyler Bain Hoy that wasn't in there, not the 86. Sorry about that, folks. So a good 3rd place to Finn Reid. The winner, of course, Ryan Colvin. 2nd place, Cormac Buchanan. 3rd place, Finn Reid on the 86 bike. Right, the Junior 200s. 17, Matt Highstead. The 7 of Sam Taylor and the 21 of Lucas Colvin. This heat sponsored by Osborne Engineering. Matt Highstead, Gate 1. Sam Taylor in Gate 2. Lucas Colvin in Gate 3. Lucas Colvin on that 21 bike. Just getting started again. Matt Highstead down there in Gate 1. Tape goes and away they go. Sam Taylor flies out of it. 17, Matt Highstead in that 2nd place, and Lucas Colvin there in 3rd. But kicking up a bit of dust now. Oh, it looks like that was Matt Highstead that went down there. So it's Sam Taylor and Lucas Colvin, 1 and 2. Matt Highstead goes back to 3rd. Through they come. Sam Taylor really relishing the conditions here. Slides through turns 1 and 2 once again. Down through turns 3 and 4 he comes with Lucas Colvin still there in that 2nd place. Matt Highstead still there in that 3rd spot. So, checkered flag for Sam Taylor and Lucas Colvin, and 3rd place will go to Matt Highstead. So, another good ride there from Sam Taylor.
Welcome to Hamner Springs and to Hamner Holiday Homes. Situated just 90 minutes from Christchurch, call our team to arrange your next holiday with action aplenty. From those who like to relax through to the thrill seeker. Choose from over 200 holiday homes with taste that caters for all. Bring the kids or relax with your partner and admire the fantastic views on offer. Book now to secure your next adventure. www.hamnerholidayhomes.com
Right, sidecars, Heat 4, race 24. This heat sponsored by Rogers Motorcycles. Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin. I'll try to remember that it's Brett Pubbin on the side of that bike. I got it halfway through most of that last race they were in. Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers on that 29 bike will come up into gate 1. Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin on the 95 bike will come into gate 2. The 32 of Jamie Pocklington and Shane McWilliam will come into gate 3. And the 72 of Chris Early and Jason Harper will be in gate 4. This heat, as I say, sponsored by Rogers Motorcycles. Tapes up and away they go. Who gets the best of it? Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin from the gate 2 look to have the best of it as they come out of turns 1 and 2. Jamie Pocklington and Shane McWilliam are up in that second place. Third place is Chris Early and Jason Harper, and fourth place is Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers. So down through turns 1 and 2 they go once again. It's Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin leading the way. It looks like Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers have got up into that second spot. Third place is still Jamie Pocklington and Shane McWilliam, and Chris Early and Jason Harper have gone back into that fourth place. So through turns 1 and 2 they go once again out of that Permacoat roofing turn. It's Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin being chased down by Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers as they head down to turns 3 and 4. It's Jamie Pocklington and Shane McWilliam still in that third place, and fourth place still that 72 bike of Chris Early and Jason Harper. So down that back straight through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin will take the win from Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers in that second place. Third place will go to Jamie Pocklington and Shane McWilliam, and fourth place would go to Chris Early and Jason Harper. So another good win there to Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin. Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers getting through into that second spot. Jamie Pocklington and Shane McWilliam holding third. And Chris Early and Jason Harper coming out in fourth spot. Right, Heat 5 for the sidecars. Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin on the 54 bike in gate 1. Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock, the 22 bike, gate 2. Aidan Thwaites, Shane Twiss, gate 3 on the 58 bike. The 84 of Stan Ross and Chris Leedon in gate 4. And the 19 of Scott Ado and Dylan Carney out here in gate 5. Tapes up and away they go in the Scarecrow Gardening Limited sponsored heat. Looks like Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. First one's down into turn 1 and 2. Round the outside, Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twiss. Through coming up into that second spot, it looked like Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock. So through they come here. In the 22 of Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock getting a bit of a wild ride on the side as they come through turns 1 and 2 once again. It's still Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin leading the way from Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock, Stan Ross, Chris Leedon have now gone up into third place. Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twiss have gone back to third, and Scott Ado, Dylan Carney have moved up as well. They just flip up in front of Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twiss as they go through turns 1 and 2 again. Fast and furious. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon get it all wrong. Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin still lead the way from Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock. Third place now, Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. And fourth place is Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twiss with 1 lap left to go. Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin, out of that Permacoat roofing turn they come. It's 22, Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock still there in that second spot. Third place, Scott Ado, Dylan Carney. Fourth place, Aidan Thwaites, Shane Twiss. Through they come. And a good win there to Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Second place going to Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock on the 22 bike. The 19 of Scott Ado and Dylan Carney takes out third place. And the 58 of Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twiss take out that 4th position. That heat, as I said, sponsored by Scarecrow Gardening Limited. Seabright Auto sponsored heat of the sidecars, race 26, heat 6. Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey on the 34 bike should be in gate 1. Jason Riley, Chris Chatfield in gate 2 on the 92 bike. Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow in gate 3. And Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat on the 24 bike in gate 4. Just waiting on Fraser and Johnny Gillespie to line up here. The Seabright Autos sponsored heat for the sidecars, heat 6, race 26. Tapes up and away they go from the gate 3. Fraser and Johnny Gillespie, Fraser and Gillespie and Nigel Cookow got away to a pretty good start. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat go up into that 2nd place. Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey go back to 3rd. And then we've got Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield rounding them out in that 4th position. So at the moment it's Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow who lead the way from Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat in that 2nd spot, Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey there in that 3rd place. There's no change as they come through turns 3 and 4. Out of that Furtick Clifton turn they go and back down into the Thwaites contracting turn. Fraser Gillespie, Nigel Cookow leading the way from Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat in that 2nd spot. 3rd place is Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey, and rounding them out Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. 1 lap left to go. Fraser Gillespie, Nigel Cookow lead the way down that back straight from Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat still there in that 2nd spot. 3rd place Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey. So a good win there to Fraser. The 11 bike of Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow take that one out from Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat on that 24 bike. Then the 34 bike of Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey take out 3rd, and 4th place to Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield.
It's tyre sale time at Mag & Turbo, and we've got 14-inch Nexon tyres from $89, 15s from $99, and 17-inch high-performance tyres from only $129. 15 stores nationwide, but only at Mag & Turbo.
The 23 of Andy Aldridge, the 5 of Grant Dragoning, and the 11 of Jake Gillespie line up here in Heat 4. John Tuffley on the 66 bike in gate 1, the 23 of Andy Aldridge, gate 2, the 5 of Grant Dragoning in gate 3, and the 11 of Jake Gillespie in gate 4. This, the Sono Sound Systems Limited sponsored heat. Tapes up and away they go from the outside. Jake Gillespie got away pretty smartly. He's got Andy Aldridge coming up the inside of him. He's got Grant Dragoning trying to go around the outside. It's Andy Aldridge that leads away. Grant Dragoning slips past Jake Gillespie. Jake Gillespie goes down. Anyway, out in front, it's Andy Aldridge, Grant Dragoning fighting out 1 and 2. 3rd place there now is John Tuffley. Andy Aldridge and Grant Dragoning 1 and 2. Andy Aldridge just gets in front as they head down that Sono Systems back straight. Grant Dragoning tries to slide back underneath him as they come through turns 3 and 4. Grant Dragoning just gets his nose in front of Andy Aldridge. Side by side they come through the start-finish line. It's Grant Dragoning and Andy Aldridge fighting out 1 and 2. Once again, Andy Aldridge draws up alongside. Grant Dragoning slides away on him as they go through turns 3 and 4. There's not much in it. There's 1 lap left to go. It's Grant Dragoning and Andy Aldridge, 1 and 2. Further back we go to John Tuffley. Further back again to But Grant Dragotting now looks like he's got a handy lead. Well and truly from Andy Aldridge. So Grant Dragotting will take the win. Andy Aldridge seemed to slow up there, unfortunately. That was developing into a fantastic race, that 1 and 2. Fourth place went to Jake Gillespie. Third place went to John Tuffley. Unfortunate for Jake coming down there and getting back up and back into it. Not too sure what happened to Andy Aldridge. He just seemed to slow down a little and lost touch with Grant Dragotting after a great battle for 1 and 2 throughout most of the race. Right, that was the Sono Sound System sponsored heat, South Coast Custom sponsored heat of the Brian Reid Solo Memorial for the Solos. Jeremy Godfrey on the 29 bike in Gate 1. Daniel Shuttleworth on the 16 bike in Gate 3. And brother Adam lining up beside him there on the 4 bike in Gate 4. Tapes up and underway. Who's got the best of it here? It looks like it's Daniel Shuttleworth. Adam Shuttleworth goes up into second. Jeremy Godfrey goes back to third place. So Daniel Shuttleworth, Adam Shuttleworth, Jeremy Godfrey looks to slide underneath Adam Shuttleworth. They come through turns 3 and 4. It's Daniel Shuttleworth leading the way narrowly from in second place there, Jeremy Godfrey. Third place is Adam Shuttleworth. So Daniel Shuttleworth slides down through that total conveyor turn. Out of the Thwaites contracting turn he comes down through the start-finish straight once again. Daniel Shuttleworth leads the way from Jeremy Godfrey and Adam Shuttleworth. Daniel Shuttleworth looking pretty smooth here. The white flag comes out. Jeremy Godfrey still in that second spot. Adam Shuttleworth still there in that third position. Daniel Shuttleworth just got to keep it all together here now as he comes through that past that Newfield Auto sign. Takes the win. Daniel Shuttleworth taking a win from Jeremy Godfrey on the 29 bike and the 4 bike of Adam Shuttleworth in that third position. That was the South Coast Customs sponsored heat. South Island Solo Spares sponsored heat of the Solo Supports. We should see the 29 of Phil Coulthard, the 46 of Jimmy Hannon, the 67 of Paul Highstead, the 66 of Alan Crosby, and the 15 of Devlin Joseph. Tapes up and away they go. From the outside, Alan Crosby got away fairly well. The 15 of Devlin Joseph, he slides down in turns 1 and 2. It's Alan Crosby leading the way though. From in that second place, looks like it's Paul Highstead, then Phil Coulthard. Then we go back to Jimmy Hannon, but it's the old campaigner Alan Crosby out in front. From Paul Highstead in that second spot. Third spot is Phil Coulthard. Fourth place, Jimmy Hannon, and Devlin Joseph rounds them out. Still Alan Crosby leading the way in the South Island Solo Spares sponsored heat. 1 lap left to go. Alan Crosby from Paul Highstead. Then Phil Coulthard still in that third place. Then Jimmy Hannon and Devlin Joseph. So a good win there to Alan Crosby on the 66 bike. The 67 of Paul Highstead takes out that second place. Third place goes to Phil Coulthard on the 29 bike. The 15 of Devlin Joseph comes through in fourth place, and Jimmy Hannon comes through in fifth place on that 46 bike. So a good win there to Alan Crosby on that 66 bike. Right, the Southern Bolts and Fasteners Limited sponsored heat of the Solo Classics. We should see the 69 of Joe Hughes, the 71 of Derek McRae. Oh, sorry, I've jumped the gun here. Solo supports heat 6, sorry. Peter Napton on the 38 bike, Zane Pay on the 9 bike, Pat Dysart on the 48 bike. This is the Southern Bolts and Fasteners Limited sponsored heat. Tapes up and away they go. Zane Pay and Pat Dysart get away fairly smartly. Pat Dysart looks to go round the outside of Zane Pay. He goes wide, so Zane Pay comes out in front as they come out of turns 1 and 2. Zane Pay leads the way from Pat Dysart and Peter Napton. Through turns 3 and 4 they come with Zane Pay leading the field. Pat Dysart there in that second spot. Peter Napton there in that third position. Down that Scarecrow Gardening back straight they go. Still Zane Pay from Pat Dysart and Peter Napton. There's no change as they come through across the Arrow Upholstery start-finish line here. Zane Pay on the 9 bike. Pat Dysart on that 48 bike. Peter Napton on the 38 bike. White flag, Zane Pay. Pat Dysart still there in second. There's been no change. Down that Extreme Karts back straight he goes for the final time. Zane Pay just got to keep it all together here and take the win from Pat Dysart in that second spot and Peter Napton in that third position. Right, race 30 in the program, the Solo Classics Heat 3. We should see the 69 of Joe Hughes, the 71 of Derek McRae, the 12 of Bradley Stockton, and the 13 of Glenn Soul. This heat sponsored by Southern City Meat Processors. Joe Hughes down in gate 1, Derek McRae in beside him on that 71 bike, Bradley Stockton on the 12 bike and the 13 of Glenn Soul. Away they go. It was Glenn Soul from the outside that gets down through turns 1 and 2. Then Bradley Stockton moves up into that second spot. Joe Hughes there in third and Derek McRae back there in that fourth position. So through they come. There's no change. Glenn Soul on that 13 bike leads the way from Bradley Stockton in that second spot. Third place is still Joe Hughes. He slips up a little and looks like Derek McRae is going to zip past him as they head down that back straight. But out in front it's still Glenn Soul from Bradley Stockton. Not much between these two boys, 1 and 2. As they come through, Glenn Soul, Bradley Stockton. Bradley Stockton looks to get up the inside of Glenn Soul, but it's Glenn Soul just holds him out as it goes through that total conveyor turn. So Bradley Stockton just takes the win from Glenn Soul as they came out of turns 3 and 4. He kept it down nice and tight and managed just to pip him on the post. So Bradley Stockton takes the win from Glenn Soul. Third place, went to Derek McRae, and fourth place there going to Joe Hughes. So the old fox just lay in wait and put the acid on Glenn Soul in the last turn and just managed to pip him over the line. So a good win there to Bradley Stockton over Glenn Soul. Third place to Derek McRae and fourth place to Joe Hughes.
Hi, Scott here from X Factor Cars, Southland's V8 specialists, stockists of the South Island's biggest selection of Holden HSV, also with a wide range of everything Ford, FPV and classic American muscle. With an in-house finance specialist, we can tailor build a package to suit each and every budget, from no deposit, structured payments and up to 60-month terms. If we don't have it in stock, our team will search high and low to find what you want. Check out our testimonials, xfactorcars.co.nz.
So out they come. Taylor Wellsmore, Slade Fordyce and Sam Coulthard in the Southern QA Limited sponsored heat. Taylor Wellsmore on the 88 bike, Slade Fordyce on the 9 and Sam Coulthard on the 44. So tapes going away they go. Looks like the 9 bike of Slade Fordyce gets away in that first spot. Taylor Wellsmore in that second place. He slips up the inside of Slade Fordyce. Sam Coulthard, he goes round the outside. Ever-changing race, this one. The 88 of Taylor Wellsmore. He's in the lead. Sam Coulthard goes up into that second place. Slade Fordyce goes back to that third spot. So Taylor Wellsmore leads the way here from Sam Coulthard and Slade Fordyce. White flag comes out. Taylor Wellsmore, 1 lap left to go. The 44 of Sam Coulthard still there in second. And third place is the 9 of Slade Fordyce. So a good win there to Taylor Wellsmore. Second place going to Sam Coulthard. Third place going to Slade Fordyce. That was the Southern QA Limited sponsored heat. The Southland Machine Hire sponsored heat of the Pee Wee Division 2 Heat 6. Should see the 6 of Cooper Early, the 72 of Bella Early and the 41 of Ryland Casey. They're all lined up here for the Southland Machine Hire sponsored heat of the Pee Wee's Division 2. Cooper Early, Bella Early and Ryland Casey. Tapes going away they go. Bella Early once again gets out fairly smartly. Cooper Early in that second spot and Ryland Casey back there in that third spot rather. So Bella Early, Cooper Early and Ryland Casey. Ryland Casey looking to go around the outside of Cooper Early. Didn't quite pull it off though, but it's Bella Early leading the way on the 72 bike. From Cooper Early on that 6 bike, Ryland Casey once again goes round the long way and tries to get his nose in front. Just about pulls, oh, young Cooper Early comes down. Red flags come out. Just had a bit of announcement here. Jeremy Godfrey and John Tuffley are both out of the A-grade solo set. It leaves the Brian Reid Solo Memorial for the solos wide open. Jeremy Godfrey and John Tuffley both out for the rest of the day. So we move up into Pee Wee Division 1. Jacob Vorkamp, Eli Bartley, Caden Cracknell and Braxton Casey line up here. The 53 of Jacob Vorkamp, I can see. Eli Bartley on the 5, the 66 of Caden Cracknell and the 29 of Braxton Casey. This the Southland Roof Painters sponsored heat. Tapes up and away they go. Braxton Casey on that 29 bike, heads straight to the front. Jacob Vorkamp looks to get through into that second place on the, over that 66 of Caden Cracknell, and then the 5 bike of Eli Bartley rounds them out. But it's Braxton Casey leading the way from Caden Cracknell on that 66 bike, then the 53 of Jacob Vorkamp, and then we go back to Eli Bartley on that 5 bike. Jacob Vorkamp goes down. White flag comes out, it's still Braxton Casey leading the way. From now, Caden Cracknell and Eli Bartley. So a good win there to Braxton Casey. Second place going to Caden Cracknell and third place going to Eli Bartley. Unfortunate for Jacob Vorkamp. He came down there in that turn 2. Well, midway between turn 1 and 2 anyway. That was the Southland Roof Painters sponsored heat of the Pee Wees Division 1. Heat 3. We move up into race 34, which is the Junior 125s. And this should be a good race. We've got the 55 of Dakota Kringle, the 28 of Hayden Brookland, the 86 of Finn Reed, and the 14 of Cormac Buchanan. This is the Thwaites Contracting Limited sponsored heat. Dakota Kringle down in gate 1, and beside him is Hayden Brookland in gate 2. Then the 86 of Finn Reed, and then the 14 of Cormac Buchanan out in gate 4 on that 14 bike. Looks like young Cormac needs a bit of a start. Stalled her on the line. He's away again. Oh, tapes going away they go. From the outside, Cormac Buchanan gets a flyer. So does Hayden Brookland. Dakota Kringle's there in that third spot. And then we've got Finn Reed on that 86 bike back there in fourth place. But at the moment, it's Cormac Buchanan leading the way. Looks like Hayden Brookland. He takes a tumble once again. Dakota Kringle's there in that second spot. Third place is Finn Reed. So Cormac Buchanan, Dakota Kringle and Finn Reed. 1, 2 and 3. Unfortunate for Hayden. He hasn't had a very good day in the office today after a brilliant weekend in Christchurch last weekend. But anyway, it's Cormac Buchanan still leading the way from Dakota Kringle and Finn Reed. 1 lap left to go. Cormac Buchanan is going to take the win here from Dakota Kringle in that second spot. And third place will go to Finn Reed. So a good ride there from Cormac. Got a flyer of a start out of gate 4. Was never headed. All these boys trying really, really hard here. And unfortunate for Hayden, once again, coming to grief. Take nothing away from Cormac Buchanan though. And Dakota Kringle and Finn Reed, 1, 2 and 3 right. Junior 125s, Mason Coulthard, Lachlan McIntyre, Nick Olford and Ryan Colvin should be fronting up here. This is the Total Conveyor Limited sponsored heat. Tapes go and the way they go. Looks like Lachlan McIntyre on that 77 bike. He got out in front. Second place. Bit of a battle on here between the 44 and the 25. It's the 25 of Ryan Colvin that's still in that second. The 44 of Mason Coulthard. They're all trying hard, these young fellas, but it's the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre leading the way from the 25 of Ryan Colvin, the 44 of Mason Coulthard, and then the 4 of Nick Alford. So through they come. It's still the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre from the 25 of Ryan Colvin, the 44 of Mason Coulthard. This time Ryan Colvin gets down the inside of Lachlan McIntyre and he will take the win. So a good win there to Ryan Colvin. Second place going to the 77 of Lachlan McIntyre, and then the 44 of Mason Coulthard in third place, and the 4 of Nick Alford there in that fourth position. So a good ride between Lachlan McIntyre and Ryan Colvin, fighting out between 1 and 2, and Ryan Colvin coming out dominant in the end. Right, the Junior 200s, this the Extreme Karts sponsored heat. Lucas Colvin, Matt Highstead and Sam Taylor. Lucas Colvin on the 21 bike, Matt Highstead on the 17 bike, and Sam Taylor on the 7. This is the Junior 200s, Heat 3, tapes going away they go. From the outside, Sam Taylor gets a flyer over the 17 of Matt Highstead and the 21 of Lucas Colvin. It's Sam Taylor leads away. Whoa! Matt Highstead goes down and Lucas Colvin threw it away to get away, to avoid hitting him, which was a good move on his behalf. So that was a battle on for 2 and 3 here. But it's Sam Taylor still leading the way. It's Lucas Colvin that's gone into that second place, and Matt Highstead goes down once again. Oh, and Lucas Colvin goes down as well. Bit of a comedy of errors going on here. Sam Taylor, the only one sticking with the ship. He carries on through and will take the win. Lucas Colvin turns it round again down in turn 3. And he will come through to take second place. Good work, Lucas. Great stuff. Junior 200s. Race 37 in the program. Heat 7 for the sidecars. The AJ Auto Electrical sponsored heat. We should see the 32 of Jamie Pocklington and Shay McWilliam in gate 1. The 84 of Stan Ross and Chris Leedon should be in gate 2. The 92 of Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield should be in gate 3. And the 95 of Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin should be in gate 4. For this, the AJ Auto Electrical Limited sponsored heat. So Stan Ross, Chris Leedon, the first one's out the gate, followed by Jamie Pocklington and Shay McWilliam. Then Jason Riley, Chris Chatfield, and Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin. As I say, the AJ Auto Electrical sponsored heat. Tapes up and they're underway. Who gets the best of it here? Once again, Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin from the outside go round the field and come out in front as they come out of that total conveyors turn. Down that back straight they go with Jason Riley, Chris Chatfield sitting there in that second spot. Jamie Pocklington, Shay McWilliam in that third place. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon in that fourth position. Once again, Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin lead the way from Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. Looks like Jamie Pocklington, Shay McWilliam as they go down through turns 3 and 4. Look to slip up the inside. They don't quite do the job though. It's still the 95 of Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin as they go down through that McLeod diesel turn. Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield still there in second place. Close behind them there, Jamie Pocklington and Shay McWilliam in that third position. And Dan Ross and Chris Leedon back there in that fourth place. But it's Irwin Tree and Nigel Cooker that have really stolen a march here as they come down through that extreme back cart straight for the final time. Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin lead the way. Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield coming under a bit of pressure from Jamie Pocklington and Shay McWilliam, but they managed to hold them out for that second spot. Irwin Tree, Brett Pubbin take the win from Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield, who were coming under quite a bit of pressure from Jamie Pocklington and Shay McWilliam, who filled that third position. And fourth place went to Stan Ross and Chris Leedon. Right, Sidecars Heat 8. The Automotive and Industrial Paints Limited sponsored heat. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat on the 24 bike should be in gate 1. The 58 of Aidan Twaits and Shane Twist should be in gate 2. The 22 of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock should be in gate 3. And the 29 of Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers should be in gate 4. This heat, as I say, sponsored by Automotive and Industrial Paints Limited. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat down there in gate 1. Aidan Twaits, Shane Twist, gate 2. Oh, tapes up and underway. They just about jumped the start, but Aidan Twaits, Shane Twist get away cleanly. They're the first ones down into the turn with Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat sitting there in second, sliding up underneath them. Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock. Did they put the red flag? What'd they say? Aidan jumped the start? So Aidan Twait's going to go back 30. I actually thought he was pretty smart off the sprocket. He just read it. Jumped just before the tapes rose. He was very, very lucky not to get tangled up in them. So it looks like Aidan Twaits and Shane Twist will go back off 30 as they line back up again. So Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock, Luke Twaits, Neville Chalmers down here on the line, and Aidan Twaits back off the 30 metres. Did get, as I say, he just jumped as the tapes rose, or just before the tapes rose. Tapes going away they go. This time once again, it looks like Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat are the first ones down into that turn, but Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock look to try and get round the outside of them as they head down that extreme carts back straight. Down through into turns 3 and 4 they go. It's Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat just in front of Luke Twaits, Neville Chalmers, then Daniel Harper, and Brad Waddock in that third place. And fourth place, Aidan Twaits and Shane Twist with that bit of ground to make up. So Luke Twaits, Neville Chalmers showing the way from Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock there in that third place, Aidan Twaits, Shane Twist back there in that fourth place. There's not much between them. It's Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat just sliding, getting done on the post there by the 29 of Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat try once again to slip up the inside of them. They don't do it. Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock back there in that third place. So Luke Twaits, Neville Chalmers for the final time through the ILT Foundation turn. They'll take the checkered flag. Second place goes to Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, and third place goes to Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock. And unfortunately for Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss, they went infield and were out of the race. So good ride there from Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers to hold out Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, and Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock, who took that third position. So Becca's Motorcycle Tours New Zealand Limited sponsored heat. Scott Ado, Dylan Carney on the 19 bike should be in gate 1. Chris Early and Jason Harper on the 72 bike should be in gate 2. Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow on the 11 bike, gate 3. Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin in gate 4 on the 54 bike. And out on the outside here in gate 5, the 34 of Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. So this heat sponsored by Becca's Motorcycle Tours New Zealand Limited. Tapes up, they're underway. So looks like Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow once again head the field. We've got Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin there in that second place. Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey sitting there in third. Coming around the outside now, Scott Ado, Dylan Carney, and the 72 of Chris Early and Jason Harper. So still Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow leading the way from Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin, sorry. Then we've got Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey in that third spot. Looks like Chris Early, Jason Harper just got in front of Scott Ado, Dylan Carney, but they fight back for that fourth position. So down that Scarecrow Gardening back straight they go. Still Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow holding out Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. One lap left to go. Third place still Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey with Scott Ado, Dylan Carney chasing them down for that third position. Through the Steve Wright blasting panel and paint turn they come. Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow take the win from Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Third place went to Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. Fourth place went to Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. And fifth place went to Chris Early and Jason Harper. Well, another good win there to Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow. Sounds like a bit of action in the pit chute. So coming out for the C Brown Builders Limited sponsored heat. As I said, the 72 of Chris Early and Jason Harper. The 11 of Fraser Gillespie, Nigel Cookow. The 95 of Irwin Tree and Brett Pubbin. And the 58 of Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss. Heat 10, race 40 for these guys. Oh, they start lining up here. Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin. $72, Chris Early, Jason Harper, 58 of Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss, and Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow. Lining up here for Heat 10 of the sidecars. Tapes up and away they go, launching off the line, Aidan Twaits, Shane Twist, but once again it's Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin that take the lead from Fraser Gillespie, Nigel Cookow, who slip up into that second place. It's Chris Early, Jason Harper there in that third spot, and Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss are in that fourth position. They've shot through into third, or they're trying to get into third. Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin lead the way from Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow. Aidan Twaits, Shane Twist just narrowly up into that third place from Chris Early and Jason Harper. Fraser Gillespie and Nigel Cookow get it all wrong, so they've lost all hope there. It's Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin who are in that first place from Aidan Twaits, Shane Twist, Chris Early and Jason Harper. Unfortunate for Fraser and Nigel. 1 lap left to run. It's still Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin as they come out of that Permacoat roofing turn and down that extreme karts back straight for the final time, with a handy lead over Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss in that second place, and Chris Early and Jason Harper in that third position. So another good win there too. Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin from Aidan Twaits and Shane Twiss, and Chris Early and Jason Harper taking out that third place. So race 41, heat 11 for the sidecars. We should see Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield, along with Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin, Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers, Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat and Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam. This will be the Choppers Tyres sponsored heat of the sidecars, race 41, heat 11 for these boys. Down in gate 1, the 92, Jason Riley, Chris Chatfield. Gate 2, Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin. Gate 3, Luke Twaits, Neville Chalmers. Gate 4, Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat. Gate 5, Jamie Pockington, Shay McWilliam. Tapes up and away they go. Who gets the best of it here? Looks like Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin once again lead the charge as there's a bit of a tangle up. Who slips through up into that first place? It looks like the 29 of Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers. Got a battle on here with Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin as they head back down into turns 1 and 2. Bevan Nuttridge just narrowly, and Ricky Pubbin just narrowly over Luke Twaits. Neville Chalmers third place is Brad Sharp. Lance Jeffcoat fourth place is Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam, and fifth place is Jason Riley, Chris Chatfield. So now Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin just get a little bit of an advantage over Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers as they head down past that GoPro sign and down through turns 3 and 4 they go once again. Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin from the 29 of Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers, the 24 of Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat in that third place. Looks like Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam look to slip up the inside of them, but they're still holding fourth as they come through for the checkered flag. Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin once again take the win from Luke Twaits, Neville Chalmers in that second place. Third place was Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat. Fourth place went to Jamie Pockington and Shay McWilliam. And fifth place went to Jason Riley and Chris Chatfield. Well, another good ride from Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Came under a wee bit of pressure from Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers, but they managed to head them and started to open it up through the latter parts of the race. Right, Sidecars Heat 12. The City Chiropractic sponsored heat. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon on that 84 bike in gate 1. The 34 of Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey are in gate 2. The 19 of Scott Ado, Dylan Carney are in gate 3. And the 22 of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock are in gate 4. This the City Chiropractic sponsored heat. Tapes go. Who gets the best of it? Stan Ross, Chris Leedon looked like they got away pretty smartly, but so did Scott Ado, Dylan Carney. And they come out in front as they come out of that total conveyors turn. Second place is Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock. Third place looks to be Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey, then Stan Ross and Chris Leedon. Sorry, I got that round the wrong way, but nevertheless, Scott Ado, Dylan Carney lead the way. Second place, Stan Ross, Chris Leedon. Third place is Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock. And fourth place is Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey. So still Scott Ado, Dylan Carney from Stan Ross, Chris Leedon. Then the 22 of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock. And fourth place is Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. Down through that C Brown Builders turn they come. Scott Ado, Dylan Carney lead the charge. From Stan Ross, Chris Leedon, Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock, Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey. There's been no change. So here's a good win coming up for Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. Finally putting it all together here at the Russell Cunningham Properties Oreti Park Speedway and taking a win from Stan Ross and Chris Leedon. Third place going to Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock. And fourth place going to Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. Take nothing away from Scott Ado, Dylan Carney. Got away, got in front, were never headed. Well done to them both. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon taking up that second place. And third place going to Dan Harper and Brad Waddock. That was the City Chiropractic sponsored heat. This next event, the Pee Wee Division 2. Tapes go and away they go from the outside. It looked like the 6 of Cooper Early, was it? Taking the lead over the 41 of Ryland Casey and then Slade Fordyce. So Ryland Casey and Cooper Early fighting out 1 and 2. Still the 6 of Cooper Early though, from Ryland Casey and Slade Fordyce in the Creation Sign sponsored heat. Cooper Early still leading the way from Ryland Casey, very close there in that second spot. And third place is Slade Fordyce. Checkered flag comes out, and it's the 41 of Ryland Casey who just managed to get in front of Cooper Early to take the win. And third place going to Slade Fordyce. So a good win there to Ryland Casey over Slade Fordyce. It was very close, Cooper Early. It was very close between the two of them. Ryland finally managed to get in front. Right, Pee Wee Division 2, Heat 8, Sam Coulthard, Bella Early and Taylor Wells Moore. In the Diggett Earth Moving sponsored heat. Sam Coulthard down in gate 1, Bella Early in gate 2, Taylor Wells Moore on the outside here in gate 3, tapes away, Bella Early out in front of Sam Coulthard and Taylor Wells Moore. So once again, Bella Early leads the charge. Second place is Sam Coulthard and third place is Taylor Wells Moore. Bella Early, fair flying around here. The 44 of Sam Coulthard in that second spot. And Taylor Wells Moore in that third place, looking to get the drop on Sam Coulthard as they come through turns 3 and 4. Bella Early, half a lap in front almost, as she comes through for the checkered flag. Sam Coulthard still there in second. Taylor Wells Moore still in that third position. So Sam Coulthard will take second and Taylor Wells Moore will take that third spot. Take nothing away from Bella Early. A brilliant win to her. Right, Pee Wee Division 1. Heat 4 for these guys. We should see the 5 of Eli Bartley, the 29 of Braxton Casey, the 53 of Jacob Vorkamp, and the 66 of Caden Cracknell. This heat sponsored by Done Right Decorating. Looks like Braxton getting a bit of a restart there. Must have stalled it. Oh, it looks like Braxton has stalled it once again. Having a few problems there with that bike at Braxton's. Tapes up and away they go. So it looks like it was that Eli? Braxton Casey gets underway. But it's Caden Cracknell that leads the way from Jacob Vorkamp and the 5 of Eli Bartley. So it's the 66 of Caden Cracknell Coming under a wee bit of pressure from Jacob Vorkamp on that 53 bike. Braxton Casey getting into his work now. He moves up into third place, and Eli Bartley goes back to fourth. So Caden Cracknell on that 66 gets the white flag. He's got Jacob Vorkamp right there in that second spot, right there with him. Braxton Casey still there in third on that 29 bike, and the 5 of Eli Bartley in that fourth place. So here's the checkered flag. Caden Cracknell takes the win from Jacob Vorkamp narrowly in that second place. Tried to pip him on the line, just didn't quite make the grade. So a great race between Caden and Jacob. Third place, as I say, goes to Braxton Casey, and fourth place to Eli Bartley. Right, the Junior 125s, Heat 7, Finn Reid, Ryan Colvin, Hayden Brooklyn and Lachlan McIntyre. Let's hope Hayden has a better run this time round. The Junior 125s, this heat sponsored by Dyno Tech. Finn Reid on the 86 bike, Ryan Colvin on the 25 bike, Hayden Brooklyn on the 28 bike, and Lachlan McIntyre on the 77. Tapes going, away they go. It looks like the 25, was it, of Ryan Colvin that got away to a good start. He's got Hayden Brooklyn right there with him. Then we go back to Finn Reid. And further back we go to Lachlan McIntyre. So it's the 25 of Ryan Colvin that leads the way. He's got Hayden Brooklyn right there with him in that second spot. Finn Reid there in that third place. Lachlan McIntyre slips underneath him and goes up to third. So it's still the 25 though of Ryan Colvin leading the way from Hayden Brooklyn and Lachlan McIntyre, and further back to Finn Reid. The white flag comes out. Still Ryan Colvin leading the way from Hayden Brooklyn and Lachlan McIntyre. Hayden looks to get round the outside of Ryan Colvin, but he just misses out. So Ryan Colvin takes the win from Hayden Brooklyn in second place. Third place was Lachlan McIntyre, and fourth place was Finn Reid. Good race between Hayden Brooklyn and Ryan Colvin though. Right, Junior 125s, Heat 8. This the E. Hayes and Sons Limited sponsored heat. Mason Coulthard on the 44, Dakota Kringle on the 55, Nick Alford on the 4 bike, and Cormac Buchanan on the 14. So Mason Coulthard, Dakota Kringle, Nick Alford and Cormac Buchanan doing battle here in the Hayes and Sons Limited sponsor heat. Away they go. Dakota Kringle gets out of the gate pretty smartly. He leads the way from the 44 of Mason Coulthard. Then we go back to Nick Alford and then Cormac Buchanan. So round they come. Dakota Kringle leading the way from the 44 of Mason Coulthard, then the 4 of Nick Alford, and then the 14 of Cormac Buchanan. So young Dakota Kringle got a handy lead now over the 44 of Mason Coulthard and the 4 of Nick Alford, then the 14 of Cormac Buchanan. The white flag comes out. It's Dakota Kringle over the 44 of Mason Coulthard and the 4 of Nick Alford. So Dakota, just hang on to it, mate. He's going to take first place. A good win there to Dakota. Second place going to Mason Coulthard on the 44. Third place goes to the 4 of Nick Alford over the fast finishing 14 of Cormac Buchanan, who ended up in 4th place. So great racing there. Engineering Sheet Metal Marine Limited sponsored heat of the 200. Sam Taylor, Lucas Colvin and Matt Highstead. Heat 4 for these guys. Sam Taylor down in gate 1, Lucas Colvin in gate 2, and Matt Highstead out here in gate 3. This the Engineering Sheet Metal Marine Limited sponsored heat. Tapes going away, they go. Who gets away? Sam Taylor pushes them wide. Oh, both go down. Lucas Colvin and Matt Highstead. The red flag will come out. So, looks like that'll be called. Heat 7 of the Brian Reid Memorial. Grant Dragoning, Jake Gillespie. And Adam Shuttleworth lining up here for the Food at Clifton sponsored heat. Tapes going away, they go. So Grant Dragoning from the outside, from the inside and from the outside, Jake Gillespie, they're neck and neck. Jake Gillespie putting on a great show here as he tries to overhaul Grant Dragoning down that back straight. Grant Dragoning goes out wide, Jake Gillespie keeps it in nice and tight. He's still there in second. Grant Dragoning just gets his nose in front now. Jake Gillespie goes back to second, and third place is Adam Shuttleworth. So great pace on here as they fly through turns 3 and 4 once again. It's Grant Dragoning leading the way over Jake Gillespie in that second spot. Third place is Adam Shuttleworth. Out of that GoPro corner they come. Grant Dragoning down through that Permacoat roofing turn he goes. One white flag comes out, one left to go. Jake Gillespie still there in second. Third place Adam Shuttleworth, there's no change. Jake Gillespie getting lots of driving, getting a bit out of shape as he comes out of that total conveyor turn. Down through turns 3 and 4 they go. It's Grant Dragoning who'll take the win though from Jake Gillespie in that second place. And third place going to Adam Shuttleworth. Right, Andy Aldridge, Daniel Shuttleworth lining up here to do battle. John Tuffley unfortunately retiring for the day. So this is Heat 8 of the Brian Reid Memorials for the solos. Andy Aldridge and Daniel Shuttleworth lining up. This is the Executive Car Service sponsored heat. Tapes up, they're underway. Andy Aldridge and Daniel Shuttleworth. Andy Aldridge, first one down to that turn. Daniel Shuttleworth, oh, he gets out there wide and all that loose stuff. He manages to hang on though. So Andy Aldridge, he leads the way from Daniel Shuttleworth as they go through turns 3 and 4. Andy Aldridge and Daniel Shuttleworth, there's no change, 1 and 2. As they come through turns 1 and 2 once again. Down that back straight they go. Come into the Aero Upholstery start, finish straight. It's still Andy Aldridge leading the way from Daniel Shuttleworth. This time round the white flag will come out. And Andy Aldridge still leading the way from Daniel Shuttleworth. Marie Sims doing a fantastic job on the flags here and she will wave the checkered flag for Andy Aldrich, who will take out Heat 8 of the Brian Reid Memorial for the solos from Daniel Shuttleworth there in that second spot. Right, the solo classics. Did Les Payne manage to get himself going? Yes, he did. So Les Payne, the 91 bike, fills gate 1. Glenn Soul on the 13 bike will be in gate 3. Derek McRae on the 71 bike is in there. And Bradley Stockton on that 12 bike out here on the outside. Bit of elbow room needed here. Tapes up, they're underway. And it looks like it was the 13 of Glenn Soul once again that gets away fairly smartly with Bradley Stockton there in that second place. Third place is Derek McRae. And then we have Les Payne. So through they come. And it's the 13 of Glenn Soul leading the way from Bradley Stockton and Derek McRae. And then Les Payne in that fourth position. This heat incidentally sponsored by Fly and Spider Control. Whoop, there's one down. Looks like Bradley Stockton. But it's still Glenn Soul from Derek McRae and Les Payne. Oh, looks like Les Payne stuck it properly, slowing right down. Push it round and get third, Les. Anyway, there was the win to Glenn Soul. Second place went to Derek McRae. Bradley Stockton got up and going again, so he crosses the line for third, and Les Payne having a DNF there, unfortunately. So we So, Heat 7 in the solo supports. We should see Peter Napton, Jimmy Hannon and Paul Hosted coming out for this one. This one sponsored by GoPro Invercargill. Jimmy Hannon on the 46 bike in gate 2, or gate 3, sorry. Peter Napton on the 38 bike in gate 2. And Paul Hosted in gate 4 on the 67 bike. Tapes up and they're underway. From the outside, Paul Hosted got a flyer. Peter Napton in that second place, Jimmy Hannon in third. So there's no change as it goes through turns 1 and 2. Paul Hosted leads the way from Peter Napton and Jimmy Hannon. Through that C Brown Builders turn they go. Paul Hosted still leading the way from Peter Napton and Jimmy Hannon. So Paul Hosted comes down through this Arrow Upholstery start finish straight once again. So a good win there to Paul Highstead. Second place will go to Peter Napton. And third place will go to Jimmy Hannon. So the solo supports, Heat 8, Devlin Joseph, Pat Dysart, Alan Crosby, Zane Pay and Phil Coulthard. No Zane Pay. Oh no, he's moving up. Got a bit of a blind stop here. I can't see what's happening. Right, the 5 of them line up here for the McLeod Diesel sponsored heat of the solo supports. Tapes go. Alan Crosby from the middle gets away, not too bad, but it's Zane Pay from that go. Oh, Alan Crosby and Pat Dysart was it that come down together there. Bit of a tangle up. Let's hope Alan's okay. He's up on his feet, which is good to see. Unfortunately, Pat Dysart and Alan Crosby just coming together there. That was the good to see Alan up and walking, both him and Pat Dysart. Rightio, so just waiting on Devlin Joseph to line back up here. We've got Pat Dysart down there in gate 2. Just waiting on Zane Pay and Devlin Joseph. Zane Pay moving up. Devlin Joseph moving up, just the 4 of them left in it. Phil Coulthard out here on the outside on that 29 bike. Tapes go and away they go. This time Pat Dysart gets away fairly smartly, so does Zane Pay. So Zane Pay goes round the outside of the wall, comes out in front as they go past that total conveyor sign and head down that back straight for the first time. Pat Dysart in that second spot. Looks like it's Phil Coulthard, is it? Or sorry, Devlin Joseph in that third place and Phil Coulthard in that fourth position. So Zane Pay leads the way from Pat Dysart and Devlin Joseph. Then we've got Phil Coulthard. There's no change except for a wee bit of pressure going on. Pat Dysart from Joseph Devlin now as they come through the start-finish straight. Devlin Joseph goes up into that second spot. Pat Dysart goes back to third. And Phil Coulthard still there in that fourth position. So Zane Pay gets the white flag. 1 lap left to go. Second place Devlin Joseph. Third place Pat Dysart. Fourth place Phil Coulthard. So Zane Pay looks to be going to get a comfortable win here. over Devlin Joseph on that 15 bike, and the 48 of Pat Dysart, who will come in third place, and Phil Coulthard on the 29 bike in that fourth position. Right, the sidecar final coming up. We'll see the 54 of Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin in gate 1. The 95 of Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin in gate 2. The 29 of Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers in gate 3. The 24 of Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat in gate 4. And the 19 of Scott Ado and Dylan Carney in gate 5. So, looks like Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat on Stan Ross and Chris Leedon's bike, the 84 bike, so we better get that one right. Watch me mix this up. Anyway. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat on the 84 bike. It's not Stan Ross and Chris Leedon. Right, Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin down this heat. As I say, sponsored by Murray Arbuckle Decorating, the sidecar final. Bevan Nuttridge, Ricky Pubbin, Erwin Tree, Brett Pubbin, Luke Twaits, Neville Chalmers, Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, Scott Ado, Dylan Carney. Tapes up and away they go. Erwin Tree, Brett Pubbin once again are the first ones down to that turn. Round the outside, looks like Scott Ado, Dylan Carney in that second place. Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin trying to push them out. So it's fairly close, 1, 2 and 3. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat in that fourth place. Fifth place, Luke Twaits and Neville Chalmers. But it's Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin that lead the way from Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Third place is Scott Ado, Dylan Carney, just narrowly over Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat. Through they come once again. It's still Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin leading the way from Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin in that second spot. Scott Ado, Dylan Carney still there in third. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat still there in that fourth place. And fifth place is Luke Twaits, all by his lonesome. Neville Chalmers taking a holiday somewhere. Righty-ho. Stowe, it's still Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin as they head down through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Erwin Tree, Brett Pubbin going to take the sidecar final from Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Third place goes to Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. Fourth place goes to Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat. And fifth place goes to Luke Twaits, all on his lonesome. So a good ride there from Erwin Tree and Brett Pubbin once again. Remained pretty dominant throughout the day here in the sidecar class, and they take out the sidecar final. Second place going to Bevan Nuttridge and Ricky Pubbin. Great ride from those guys. They've had a good day in the office here at the Russell Cunningham Properties Oreti Park Speedway as well. And third place going to Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. Right, the Brian Reid Memorial for the solos in the final. Daniel Shuttleworth in gate 1. Grant Dragoning in gate 3. Andy Aldridge in gate 4. And Jake Gillespie in gate 5. This heat sponsored by Newfield Autos. The Brian Reid Memorial for the solos. This is the final. Don't forget, folks, the 26th of November is the Burt Munro Challenge. Be here early to get a spot. The place will fill up as it usually does. Before the solo final, we've got the 200s, is it? Sam Taylor and Matt Highstead having a bit of a run-off here, or a race. I'm not sure what was going on because it wasn't in the program, but anyway, Sam Taylor right in amongst it there with Matt Highstead there in that second spot. Oh, it's a rerun. So Sam Taylor getting into it there. So it was a rerun from a previous race that they abandoned. White flag comes out, still Sam Taylor from Matt Highstead. So, good win there to Sam. Matt Highstead coming in that second spot. Right, the Brian Reid Memorial for the solos. This will be the decider. This is the final. Daniel Shuttleworth, Grant Dragoning, Andy Aldridge and Jake Gillespie coming out in the final race here this evening at the Russell Cunningham Properties Oreti Park Speedway. Once again, must thank you, the public, for coming along and supporting us here. Been absolutely fantastic to see us. Thanks to all our sponsors once again as well. All our officials, flag marshals, lap scorers, starters, assistant starters, everybody that helps to put the meeting together. Very much appreciated. All right, it's been a fantastic evening of racing here at the Russell Cunningham Properties Speedway. And here to round it out, the Brian Reid Memorial Solos final coming up now. This heat, as I said, sponsored by Newfield Autos. Dave and the crew out there in Tweed Street. Great supporters. Pete Stenning practicing at being a monkey. The man that runs Total Conveyors, who is going to be the main sponsor of the New Zealand Solo Champs here on the 17th of December. Right, they're lining up. Daniel Shuttleworth down there in gate 1. Grant Dragoning in beside him. Andy Aldridge in there as well, and in beside him is Jake Gillespie. So, Daniel Shuttleworth lined up there, waiting. Bit of confusion about who's supposed to be where. Grant Dragoning's supposed to be in gate 3. Andy Aldridge in gate 4. We're going to use the whole track, I was led to believe, for the start. Somebody hogging a bit of room. So Jake Gillespie moves into his position now. They've shunted them over a little bit. Let's do a bit of gardening, get themselves sorted out. Tapes up, they're underway. Grant Dragoning gets away fairly smartly. So did Jake Gillespie, so did Andy Aldridge. So through they go. Andy Aldridge right round the outside of the whole lot of them as they head down that extreme cars back straight with Grant Dragoning there in second place. Jake Gillespie there in third. In fourth place is Daniel Shuttleworth. So it's Andy Aldridge who leads them through. Grant Dragoning still there in second. Jake Gillespie there in third. And Daniel Shuttleworth back there in that fourth position. Down through that Permacoat roofing turn they go. It's still Andy Aldridge leading away from Grant Dragoning, who's not giving up. He's trying everything. He's trying around the outside as they go through turns 1 and 2. Once again, he's out pretty wide. He's very close to that air fence. But it's still Andy Aldridge as they head down that back straight. Through that McLeod diesel turn they go. Andy Aldridge with 1 lap left to go still leads the charge here over Grant Dragoning and Jake Gillespie and Daniel Shuttleworth. So Andy Aldridge once again down that back straight he goes. Down into that Permacoat roofing turn with a handy lead now over Grant Dragoning, and Andy Aldridge will take the checkered flag. Second place to Grant Dragoning, third place goes to Jake Gillespie, and fourth place goes to Daniel Shuttleworth. Well, put your hands together for Andy Aldridge, folks. He's travelled down from Christchurch and he's taken out the Brian Reid Memorial for the solos. Second place goes to Grant Dragoning. Third place goes to Jake Gillespie. Andy Aldridge getting into his work there, saluting his victory. Great stuff from Andy.